Hi everyone, I'm Rita Boyer, Certified Educator at Prospect Presbyterian Church in Maplewood, New Jersey. And I'm so happy that you have joined me for another one of our Holy Week stories. But before I share a story with you, I have a question. Are you washing your feet a lot lately? You're probably thinking, wait a minute, what is she talking about? We don't have to wash our feet, do we? No, you're right. It's our hands that we have to wash many times a day for at least 20 seconds each time. But in Jesus' day, they had to pay attention to washing their feet as well. You see, they didn't have shoes that completely covered their feet. They wore sandals most of the time, and probably sandals that were pretty worn out from all the walking they had to do. They walked on dusty roads, and those stones and the gravel and dust from the roads got into their feet. And so whenever they would go into a person's home and share a meal with their friends, they would need to have their feet washed. And very often it was a servant in the home who would do that, who would wash the guests' feet. Today, I'm sharing a story about that from John chapter 11. You may want to look that up in your Bible sometime today. But the version that I am telling you comes from the Children of God Storybook Bible, the gift to us from Archbishop Desmond Tutu. It is called Jesus Becomes a Servant. And I'll share this picture with you now. See the picture? Jesus becomes a servant. Jesus and the disciples gathered in Jerusalem. Their feet were dirty from walking the dusty roads, telling people about God's dream. The disciples started arguing over which one of them was the greatest. Jesus got up and tied a towel around his waist. He took a basin or a bowl of water and began to wash the feet of his disciples and to dry them with the towel. Jesus' friends were shocked. "Well, that's a servant's job," they shouted. But Jesus quietly continued washing their feet. When it was Peter's turn, he jumped up. "Master, you will never wash my feet." "Then you cannot be my disciple," said Jesus. "Lord," cried Peter, "wash my feet, my hands, my head, all of me." After Jesus had finished washing their feet, he took off the towel and sat down again. "Do you understand what I have done?" he asked. "You call me Lord and Teacher, but I have washed your feet like a servant. You must follow my example." The leader is the servant of all. You must be as servants to each other. No one is more important than anyone else. I want you to love one another the way I love you. Let's pray. Dear God, help me to be a willing servant of all. Amen. Now, Jesus couldn't visit us today since we're not allowed to have any visitors, but if he did, he may wash our hands rather than our feet. But in this story, Jesus shows us how to care for one another. Jesus took the role of a servant and washed the disciples' feet, much to their surprise. I wonder how you might be able to take care of other people. We usually think of parents and grandparents and older people as taking care of younger children. But I'm thinking of some ways that you are taking care of your parents and grandparents and people who are older than you are. Can you think of ways that you can take care of people, even people who are older than you are? You are doing that every time you wash your hands. Every time you stay at least 6 feet away from someone. You are taking care of others by staying home, by not having play dates, by not going to school. And I know that those things are hard to do. Believe me, we're all feeling it. It is hard to stay home day after day. It is hard to not run up to somebody and give them a hug. It is hard to stay away from grandparents. It is hard to not have play dates with your friends and not see them at school. It is hard to not be together in church. And it's hard to keep washing our hands. But thank you for doing it. You are being a servant like Jesus. You are caring for others. And whenever you don't feel like washing your hands anymore, but you do it anyway, as the water is running over your hands, maybe you can think about how Jesus washed his disciples' feet and showed them how much he loved them. Thank you for all that you are doing to take care of others. As you think about this story today, you might want to check out the activity sheet that we have on the church website, and you can find a link to it in the email that your parents received this morning. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you'll be back tomorrow for another Holy Week story. Bye-bye.